Hello and welcome on digital innovation as a strategy for change management. I would first like to welcome our moderator for the session, Mr. Arpanarghya Saha, Chief Digital Officer, Nippon Life India Asset Management Limited. And now welcoming our panelists. We have with us Mr. Subrato Bandhu, Regional Vice President, India, OutSystems, Mr. Prasanna Lohar, Head, Digital Innovation and Architecture, DCB Bank, Mr. Ratnesh Mehra, Director, CX Strategy and Transformation, Oracle India. Welcome all of you. Dear delegates, please keep asking questions in the chat box. The panel may pick a few and answer to you in the end. Over to you, Mr. Saha.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to this session. Uh, Today's topic is digital innovation as a strategy for change management. And I think these are the most popular words in today's world. And I have with me a very renowned set of people who have been working in such fields. And we will try to make this session as informative for all of you, watching us. So thank you for being there with us today, and we'll take questions at the end. Okay. Saying this, my first question goes to you, Prasanna. Uh, so while digital innovation is cutting through all verticals in the organization and across organizations, to love you to take us through your digital transformation journey that has paved the path for such innovations in your organization. We want to hear some live cases. Over to you, Prasanna.
Yeah, thank you, Arpanarghya. Thank you, IMA Mobile, for inviting me here. So I think very good question. See, example for a DCB bank, when I joined back way back in 2014, and I used to see quite a lot digital around me, myself, maybe fintech adoptions or other banks and so on. And while coming from a non-banking background, it was a very challenging stuff for me to begin with what is meant by digital. So for me, digital was always like something which is automation, which is a straight through for and better customer experience and so on. But while dealing with digital delivery and digital adoption, I think digital is not only delivering some mobile app or some WhatsApp banking or some kind of a video KYC. It is much more than that. It is firstly around people first strategy, right? How your people in the organizations are aligned with aspiration to make a complete bank digital first. So wherein are we having some kind of a buy-in from board members or your top management, including MD, CEO, or even at somebody who is sitting at a branches, right? Does he understand what is meant by digital? What is that as a banker? He is offering that service to the end user, or how he seeks the feedback for him for much more needed new request from the customers. I think it's a combination of how we deal with the people and how we enhance the digital index of a people or digital culture of a people to the next level. So how it goes strategically, typically other pillars like typically we hear about processes or technology also, right? How they are hand in hand goes to the these things. But I think coming back at a DCB bank, most important was a creation of a backend systems. Say if you divide digital into three areas, say example, first area is around front office. What is happening in a front office area where we customer deal with you at a branches or at a channels like mobile, ATM, POS. And there are other channels which are upcoming like a fintech adoption or how customer is seeking a payment service on a phone page or Google page, which is in the backend utilizing a banking service or could be lending service. So that way, we have seen what is that to be automated on a front offices, say begin with the mobile app for every type of unit for customers or internal apps for enhancing the employee efficiency, right? Lead management, how do we track their efficiency? How do we give a notification to them? Say example, if you want to go to the next level, what is that 4 or 5 things he has to do? So more or the less digital around how do we enhance your manual operations which are there for a customer on a front office, and while doing it how your back office is equipped with this. Say example, in the back office do you have a very robust architecture with the enterprise service or API or some kind of a data management strategy with big data followed by AI ML and maybe upcoming technology like people big data AI, and these things has to be there in the back office. And how do we connect your front office in the back office? Say example, for an app, how do we connect with the APIs, right? So API becomes mid office. So removal of those operational or manual work which is happening, like account opening. Can I remove everything with the help of a eKYC API or PAN API or a combination of APIs like DDoP or so on? So that could be the one of these cases. So identify what are different use cases we can do for various business units. So in that mid office, so convert those as a use cases, or at the same time operational things, right? So at the end of a day or at start of a day, there are a lot of operations our operation team does. Example, reconciliation, or taking those files and mapping those files and giving out those payouts, or taking out those payment gateway files, or doing some backend operations at a data center. So identify several those processes and how can we automate with the help of RPA or intelligent automation. So in a nutshell, divide those front, back, and well supported mid office with the help of right set of people governance. Look at which processes to be automated first and which should second. Otherwise, you will end up burning so many things, right? And having a right set of a future-proof API strategy and a future-proof open banking strategy to look at how do we serve upcoming customers like millennials and so on. And finally, other two important pillars: keep on talking with the customer either on app, giving some notification, or whenever a customer is coming to branch, seek a feedback from you, how he's feeling, what is that he's looking for, and so on, and give those feedbacks to the your product teams who can formalize into the product journey. And the last thing, keep talking to your employees, generate ideas from employees, make those ideas as actual innovations if it is really aligned with the bank strategy. And most important things, compliance, security, what regulator is saying. You can really create a P2P marketplace as a banker, but regulator will not allow. Or you can create a crypto bank, right? But regulator will not allow today. And there are many other ways regulator wants you to do, like multi-factor authentication. How do we really continuous VPTs? And in last 6-7 months, we have seen surge of regulation guidelines, which we have to adhere, right? So adhering those compliance up from delivering a digital experience, adhering those compliance regulatory guidelines is also very important part of a digital these days, because we always say digital payment, digital bank. I think, and keep an eye on what is happening outside of the world, what NPCA is doing, what REBIT is doing, or what IDRBT is coming, or what government is going to come up with. So keeping eyes like BBPS has come, or a JM has come, or a UPI, or a account aggregator. So being there in that journey is also part of a digital journey. So we have to be always on toes. Keep talking to the fintech companies, what they are offering, and keep experimenting with them, so that we can also learn with them being a banker and provide much more needed service to all types of customers. So this is in nutshell from my. I think we can talk for hours together how a bank can really do transformation journey. But I just thought in a nutshell how we can
Fantastic. I think
get into these categories.
very,
Yeah.
very well articulated, Prasanna. So my key takeaway from this answer is, and especially for the audience, the digital is not only about delivery anymore. It is all about putting people first, consumers first, having the use cases in place, and ensuring that as a digital entrepreneur, always go on with your exploration to see where the world is going. Thank you. This is very informative. Thank you very much. I'll quickly move to my next question, and this goes out to Subrato, and we'll also take a second view from Ratnesh after Subrato answers. Uh, so, gentlemen, what role do you think digital platforms and technologies will play in innovation? And what are you currently doing this in your world? As I understand, both of you are, deeply embedded into it, and you've been doing it for yourself and for others. So we'll start off with Subrato, and we'll take this to Ratnesh. Over to you, Subrato.
Yeah, thanks, Arpan. Thanks. This is a very good question at the right time, actually, at this point of time. So when you look at the digital and innovation, they basically work in a very close knitted part, okay? And whatever the innovations that you recently seen it digital oriented only, okay? And as per Satya Nadella said that a software is going to drive the world, which is very much fact, but which is very much fact. So when you look at any industry or any vertical, it is the software which is playing a major role, and it is a digital part which is creating a biggest amount of perspective in terms of the growth from a company point of view, or growth for any other things that the company is looking at now. Coming back to OutSystem, what we normally look at from a digital platform, a digital transformation point of view. And it basically goes back to what Prasanna was talking about, is we try to act as a as a digital backbone for any organization from an enterprise architecture point of view, right? Now the biggest challenge for any large enterprises is about how do they digitize their operational and for their B2C and B2B use cases. At the same time, keeping in mind that they have a lot of legacy also in place. Okay, so when you have a lot of legacies also in place, that any kind of application development on the top of legacy is going to take its own time. Now the objective is this, that how I can able to connect system of record, which basically goes back to Prasanna's point, and create multiple system of experiences from a B2B, B2E, B2C point of view, from operations, from and that's where exactly OutSystems comes in, developing application, modern application faster for the future, as well as doing it in a very correct manner. So that's my perspective, Arpan.
Oh, fantastic. So I think so what you are trying to say over here, the digital backbone or digital chassis is going to be the most crucial factor. And one would need to go on, innovating on that so that the entire ecosystem starts communicating and you give your customers or consumers the best of digital innovation in the market.
Yeah,
This is very interesting. Thank you,
yeah.
thank you very much, Subrato. Ratnesh, would want to hear your views on this.
Yeah, I think Subrato Prasanna, I think outlined one point, and so I've not put that forward. But the very fact that the digital disruptions which have happened from customer experience perspective have been phenomenal. COVID, and I hope, by the way, all of you guys are safe and sound. But COVID, I think, led a lot of Indian organizations to relook at, because the disruption at scale at what happened was unprecedented, right? And none of the organizations, most of the organizations were actually not prepared for it. But what it propelled organizations was, maybe it started with a jugaad. We Indians are very good in it. So but we very quickly created, solutions to circumvent around it, right? So we had FMCG companies bringing a D2C model, a direct to consumer model, because their whole dealership supply chains, everything got disrupted. We had major fintech innovations coming in. We had very quickly chatbots coming in to at least partially manage the traffic of customers, which couldn't reach any call centers in this country and across the world. So that is, I think, definitely where we saw a lot of revolution. Even when we got a respite, since I work with a lot of customers, customers have started putting in a place to start looking at how do we, believe, and how do we start building out a digital architecture where this kind of a disruption is managed if it happens. So now with phase two, I do see a lot of customers whom we talk to, they're much better placed, right? You don't see that kind of a disruption in supply chain or this. It's early days, but we still seeing that at least this part of the things are not getting impacted. Organizations are better prepared. Now, other things which I'm seeing from an innovations perspective is actually people are also going back to the core products and services and changing or offering what consumers are asking for it. So, we have, for example, seen a lot of companies in automobile offering subscription services. A year back or even 2 years back, I work a lot with automobile companies. Uh, uh, Subscription was not heard of it, right? Subscription was corporate leasing, right? And today, right from Maruti downwards to Hyundai and actually every other company today, very, very quickly launched a subscription model. So they believed, that this model is something which is there now to stay. So now this is something, subscription model has been there in Western world quite some time, right? But we always thought that that's a maturity at that level, but we very, very quickly seen proliferation. And this is not only for a B2B2C or an automobile or a B2C. We have seen this happening in manufacturing side of things. We've seen companies actually rolling out a subscription models across industries, right? So this is what we were talking about, what consumers are looking at, right? From they don't want to spend a lot of money on a capex. There's so much uncertainty. So companies are tuning and going back to products and services. Fintech is another example, right? We're seeing so many products and offerings which are coming in.
Correct.
So companies are going back to say what consumer want. So where are we outlining these two things? I think the whole thing which is coming driving this is that customer experience is actually now becoming a very strategic affair. It is no longer an IT initiative. It is no longer even a digital initiative. It is it is a survival. It is where product and services experience, everything is being basically tuned together to put a forward a thought process which says that customer experience, if we is not adopted, we'll probably not survive. The entire big three in US never thought Tesla will change the dynamics, right? But Tesla changed the dynamics. Or Airbnb is now a threat to all the hotel companies in this world, right? So the product and models are now changing because customer asked for it, there was a need for it. And then you have to bring in a world-class customer experience platform. So, and attributes to basically support that.
Fantastic. So customer experience, Ratnesh, let me sum it up. Experience, the word itself is no more an abstract noun. It has become a proper noun. And the ecosystem has come together to make this dramatical change through digital innovation across organizations. And it's absolutely a mandate, not to feel good, but for survival, especially in such times.
It
Thank
is
you. Thank you
survival. It is
for.
actually, I would say, it's a competitive strategy now. It's a CEO level's
Oh,
mandate today. It is no longer even C minus one. It is a CEO's
oh,
mandate because organizations who have been on leadership level, and we see examples, the Googles, the Facebooks, the Airbnbs, right? You've got Amazon, right? They're leaders because
oh.
they actually focused on this, and now they are 4 to 5 times ahead of their nearest competitor. So it's a strategy. It is no longer a digital implementation.
Absolutely. It's a strategy. It's something that you need to have to keep your razor sharp agility and stay all ahead. Fantastic. Thank you for this. I'll come back to Prasanna. Prasanna, very simple question. Every time there's a change, be it in a country, be it in an economy, things start moving here and there. There is commotion. Um, so how did your internal organization react on the digital innovation-led change, and how did it get accepted? Can you give us a short story on this?
Okay, see example way back in 2017. So we run a program called Innovation Carnival. We started this program in 2017. So it's an open innovation program for external entities like startups, fintechs, or some of the mentors. Corporates also aligned with this program, and it's a continuous innovation generation program. So what does it mean? It means that at the end of 2021, I've been sitting on a number of startups, fintechs with me, and if some problem statement comes in front of me for any of those business units from a bank, I am ready with the solution, or I am ready with some of the partners, or I am ready. How do we really tackle this, or what is that we can do with a combination of 2 3 startups together, and so on. Similarly, I think we were in the mid of some GST implementation, right, in 17, and that moment I think I was sitting with one of the startups in Chennai called Versify, and after this short visit in Chennai, and I never knew that I'm gonna work with this guy. Okay, and all of a sudden the GST and everything has started becoming one of the important requirement. And being a banker, a bank always see how other banks are really doing it, which are those partners they are working with. And one thought came in one of our president that. We should work with this partner, okay, some partner who is working with X bank, and at the same time I showcase them this is another partner we can work with. And more or less everything is ready, and it will be aligned with our aspiration to become SME led bank, right, or to support all of our SMEs in one shot. That is how the product is ready. That is a one example, and within a no time, maybe 15 days, followed by agreement, NDA, followed by implementation, and the product was ready for a lot of SMEs. And almost in 2 3 months we onboarded 4 to 5 thousand SMEs on these things. So that's how it's one of the example. We as an innovator, we have to always on we always have to troll, right? What is happening around the world, who are all the
Lovely,
innovators,
lovely.
fintech, and whenever it comes, connect those dots, right? Say example, video KYC. I'm being scouting video KYC and part of IMEI, one of the video KYC forum, since 1819, and in the 19 end, I think it has become a reality where RBI said, yeah, certainly we can use it. And I was already aware which are those better players, and we onboarded them in a flat 30 days, right? Right. So connection with your ecosystem, and at the same time keep on talking with your internal stakeholders, what is there they are looking for, and narrate it in a such a way that you connect those dots for your needed digital transformation. So this is, I think it's really
So,
going good.
so ensure, so in simple words, ensure that the change that you communicate shows benefits, shows brownie points for the entire organization and its people. Rather than getting scared about it, people should be excited to accept it and move ahead. And also, both their changes will be two
Yeah,
types. One would be known change, like the KYC example that you gave. You were involved for such a long time and you knew this would happen sometime. And something would be like an unknown change
yeah,
where WhatsApp has suddenly come in and transformed the way how chat servicing has started happening in this country. But be ready for both of
yes,
it.
yes, yes.
Yes, so start going on moving. Lovely point. Thank you very much.
So
I'll
one thing I just want to add, while say every bank and organization has its own history, right? So PSU bank, private bank, or a new bank, challenger bank, or small finance bank. So based upon bank type, people start doing their digital transformation journey, right? So example, at my bank, one or two digital champions are there, and if they are delivering better, automatically they can create a much more needed complete culture. Now, so I can say every business unit, maybe 4 years before they were not aware what is that we should do at digital, but today while we exhibit these small examples,
sure.
that give an education to others, okay, this is the way we should make it happen at a bank.
Fantastic, fantastic. This is really interesting. Thank you, Prasanna. I will quickly, quickly to Ratnesh again. Ratnesh, simple question, and but might not be a simple answer, right? Uh, can the digital innovation leading to change, a long line, happen without a sound digital organization structure in place for any enterprise? If yes, why? If not, why? And what do you think?
So, I think I just started that point on that today digital innovation is a competitive strategy and it has to be a C-level led. But it cannot succeed if all the departments or all those islands of informations, first of all, do not meet. The the so-called, owners of these departments don't collaborate. And I'll give you a very simple example which we face day to day and which is very, very commonsensical. So you have a customer who marketing and you've launched a new product and you basically want to run a lot of campaigns onto this targeting a customer, your existing customer, you want to basically go sell him. Now, at the same point of time, this is a customer who's facing problems with your service, right? And he is interacting with another department, which is your customer service department, and trying to figure out, how to manage the problems, right? Now, you can do all the beautifications and all the absolute targeting personalized campaigns to this customer, but the problem is that you don't even know if you're not connected that this is the same customer whom your couple of call center agents are trying to fix a problem, right? So your marketing
Mhm,
budgets goes for a waste,
mhm.
you irritate your customer, and end of the day you gain nothing, right? Now, very simple example, but believe me, it happens to all of us so many times, right? We are owners, we have a bad experience, but second 30 minutes later, we are hit with a campaign from that very organization. I'm not even talking about that the company doesn't know whether I own it, but it is like, waste. So this is just to identify that if there's a customer and the customer has so many attributes, right? And you don't if your two of your departments are not even talking or interacting with each other, you'll create a mess. In fact,
Right.
instead of providing a live experience, you will end up this thing. So that's where today, when organizations or at least organizations who understand this are actually trying to break the knowledge silos and bring these data together, right? So when you talk about a customer 360 today, which is very generically used word. It's not easy, right? It is that you have to bring these departmental informations together and then more importantly act and insights onto it. How will you do it? It cannot happen until there is a matrix organization which has participations from all these departments. So customer experience is no longer a front office mandate, right? Uh, it is a back end team, it is your finance team. I imagine another scenario where all this is fine and then a finance guy calls up and says, to a B2 guy, you haven't paid, right? Where is your next payment due, right? That's absolute scaliges which can happen, but it happens, right? You're having a problem, marketing campaign hits you, and then a finance or somebody calls you and said that you have not paid your last EMI or whatever. So,
Correct.
absolutely, a right use case to demonstrate that all these departments have to work together. Every customer behavior or experience is a responsibility of every department, or not only a front end. That can only happen when it's a matrix organization and it is controlled by C levels whose an experience or customer ethnicity runs across the organizations, and
Fantastic.
just to put one word, I generally don't quote customer names, but if you look at abroad, right, which is the par excellence in hotel industry, that experience comes from the moment you enter from a doorman to every experience, every touch point in that industry, in when you're living with that hotel. That is because it's a culture there, right? Every department there makes sure that you are special. It is not a front office or a CRM or maybe the dinner what would does it. So it's just an example to demonstrate that every department works together to give you that real digital experience.
Fantastic. So thank you again, very, very insightful. So one is definitely, a structure helps, but along with the structure, one should also have the culture of collaboration and
Yes,
people together so that these things are much smoother and it's much better, which will basically allow you to be the real digital organization rather than just posing to be one, right?
absolutely,
Have I
absolutely.
summed it correct? Yes.
No,
Okay.
absolutely.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ratnesh. I'll move to Subrato. And Subrato, probably this is one of the most interesting questions in this session. What are so all of us over here in this meet wants to know, and also our viewers, uh, what are the exciting digital innovations underway that India awaits, according to you?
Okay. So it's an interesting question, but I would not say that India awaits, and I would say it's a the innovations are already at some level of maturity, but it needs to go much more maturity going further. So even if you look at couple of, so I would not go very long on this, but just a couple of pointers. When you look at the artificial intelligence, right, AI. AI, what we have seen in last 2 years back or last 1 year back, it is just on a it is just at some level, but not deeper. But if you see more and more use cases are coming at from an AI point of view, right? Now, if you look at even from a customer experience point of view, right? Now people are looking from AI about how I can able to consolidate all my customer engagement in one single platform. Okay, so AI is going to be more there's going to be more agility, there's going to be more use. Okay, that's the first thing that I would look at. Second is the innovation of 5G, and the 5G is just launched, and it is going to take the consumerization to a different level altogether, and we are going to get a huge amount of use cases because of this. And the saying of software is going to change the world, and this 5G is going to be in a spotlight because of that. And there's going to be a lot of innovations which is going to be around the 5G. And the last thing which I look at, Arpan, is more cloud. So when you look at
Yeah.
cloud, started a couple of years back, people used to look at from a DevOps point of view, people used to look at from a development and from R&D point of view. But more and more cloud native applications is going to get developed. more and more trust is going to put on a cloud. Even the government is coming forward, regulatory bodies are coming forward to put more control and security around this cloud part, because this is going to go into a next step. So in to summarize, the AI next step, AI is going to lead to a next step. 5G is going to innovate to maximum level, which to from the consumation point of view, from a B2C and B2B point of view, and more cloud native is going to come into play. So that's my perspective, Arpan.
Fantastic, fantastic. AI is definitely the flavor which is coming up. A lot of people, when they hear about AI, they come back to me and say, "Does this mean there will be less jobs in the market and artificial cyborgs are going to work?" I said, "Nothing of that sort. It's only going to make your life easier. So, inherit, accept, enable the change." And of course, cloud, I believe, is the way ahead. Made easier from a chief digital officer's perspective, or a chief information technology officer's perspective. Think, and from a chief financial officer's perspective, think about the hardware investments, server investments, which are not going to be there. Life is going to get much easier. It can reflect and rather push up not only the investor experience but also the shareholders value, right? So this is how I believe this is going to put things together. Now,
And Arpan,
there's been
Arpan,
sorry.
just to add, what I can see the AI is, when we look at full stack application development
Mhm.
versus application development which is happening onto the digital platform like us. This entire application development is a powered by AI. Okay, so how there is a predictability into the application development is going to be defined by AI, and which is already in action from our perspective. So that's the reason AI is going to be there, and it is a lot of thing it's going to be there.
Completely agree. I can even say amen to your statement at this point of time. Anyways, quick, last question, because we have a lot of enthusiastic audience who has written to us. We'll take their questions after this. Last question. I just want all three of you to just one tip, and to our viewers who are following the path of digital evangelism. What is that one tip that will help them succeed?
So I think innovation is so these days it's a so one word I say is to collaborate. Okay, keep collaborating
Okay.
with your ecosystem and keep innovating. Don't
Okay.
stop with the one or two deliveries and say that
So
make
let me
it the
sum it up for you, Prasanna. Collaborative innovation. Okay, I'll take that and I'll put it, park it over here. I'll quickly move to Subrato. I'll move to Ratnesh. Ratnesh, your one tip for all our viewers.
I think to any organization who's building a digital platform, I believe don't ever forget the word empathy. Empathy is ever going to get outdated. Empathy towards your messaging, empathy towards your customer, empathy towards your employees. Uh, Build these systems, with empathy in mind. This is always better than, a rough hand and shake. You'll have customers for life, and you'll grow. So build these systems with keeping empathy in mind. So.
Fantastic. Empathy as the core from the time of build to delivery to execution. Okay, thank you, Ratnesh. Subrato, that one golden word which will help all of us.
Use social media not for distraction. Use social media to build your knowledge, to connect with people, to build your brand. Okay. For the young generation, that's the only message that I would like to give, that okay, use these mechanisms of connected with people in a right perspective, not to distract things and all, actually. So that's the perspective.
Wonderfully said, wonderfully said. And I think the right thing that we need now at this point of time in our country, especially and across the world, social media, spreading positivity, spreading knowledge rather than
Yeah.
anything else. Thank you so much, Subrato. Now, we have had some good good questions which are coming up, but because of time, we have 5 minutes left. I'm going to take only one or two of them. And I would request any one of you to answer this. So I think this one is targeted towards Prasanna. Sorry, Ratnesh. Ratnesh, which all departments are most difficult to digitize? According to you, what do you think? What have you seen, since you've seen so many organizations? Okay. And a quick tip again to help them. I know this is a difficult one.
I don't think I think traditionally I have seen resistance coming from B2B. So I will not say department. I would say probably in from an industry side of the things, the B2B side of things are somewhere laggards. They believe, I think, especially for example, so they focus a lot on, for example, supply chain, ensuring the product is produced and delivered, right? But I have seen a resistance coming towards, building, let's say, providing a customer experience or a UI UX, which is an Amazon like an
Oh,
experience in a B2B scenario, right? They see
oh,
probably no merit on it at this point of time. There are leaders who do fantastic jobs on it. I think that that's something where I believe, your B2B customers are also the customers who go back and order on Amazon. Build those experiences and you'll see a wow relationship coming out.
fantastic. Thank you for that. Prasanna, quick one for you. You know, uh, has COVID resulted in a complete change in the way organizations were working? Answer could be yes, no, in between. Uh, but the most important question is how has it impacted from a digitization perspective?
I think it's a completely customer behavior change, right? So certainly, yes for the change, right? Rather, it's a big yes. And I think customer behavior change over a period of last 1 year, or rather, customer behavior, customers not visiting branches, right? Not neither to cinema halls, and so more contactless, touchless, and more on mobile first, more to understand customer to adopt the AI or big data. So I think what if you ask any banker what he has delivered in the last 4 to 5 years compared to last 1 year, the comparison will be a higher side on the last 1 year. So that's and apart from that, what I was talking about innovation in the collaboration, number of innovations and collaborations which has happened in the last 1 year compared to last 4 years is huge. I'm not talking about digital experience, but not only banking, around health or around adoption of drones or adoption of those IoTs, adoption of new technologies. The last 1 year is a huge, not only from tech companies, but also from government, state governments, at a global level, UNICEF, who they are really looking at new technologies to really come up and help for transformation. I think one of the important technology which we see, I think we spoke about IoT, 5G, cloud or so, but augmented reality and virtual reality will change the game of communication. So maybe
Fantastic,
today we
fantastic,
are talking
Prasanna.
about
Got that?
a
Got
mobile
that.
app.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
think
think that will change because these tech companies like Geos or Googles or Apple, they will really change their form factor for a
so.
communication. So I think let's look at how furthermore. But to be frank, COVID has really made a given an opportunity for organizations to work from home or change the way they were working, collaborate more, or innovate more.
Got that. Got that. We are running short on time. So quick one, Subrato. The last question goes to you. Digitization is definitely going here to stay, but is it going to take over?
I I didn't get your question. Can you repeat again, Arpan? I'm sorry.
Digitization is definitely going to stay, but is it take over completely?
Yeah, digitization is going to go to a next level altogether because COVID has really given a good lesson to lesson to all the company that without digitization, it is very difficult to get the right customer experience basically, right? So in my couple of discussions with couple of banks or insurance companies, what I experienced that and it is when the COVID has started, and they had some multi architected legacy applications which they had, and they came back and they said that okay, it is going to be very difficult for me to develop anything from my consumer to drive a B2C kind of use case. So they are looking for platform which basically can able to connect with the system of record to create multiple system of experience, and that's what the digitization is that we are talking about, not only from a B2C point of view but also from a B2B point of view, from internal efficiency point of view that people are looking at. So digitization, we are just in a start. It is going to go into a big next step going further also.
Wonderful. So we are just scratching the surface over here, and as we are, moving from our Indian jugaad to real innovation, we are there. I want to thank all of you, Prasanna, Ratnesh, Subrato, for being a part of this panel. I want to thank the viewers out here today who have taken out time and heard us and sent us questions. I'm going to say bye-bye to all of you now, all of us. But before leaving the stage or the screen, we're going to say enhance, amplify, because innovation is going to give you the change, and change is always the best for all of us. So thank you very much, and a very good afternoon to all of you. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thanks,
Thank
Arpan.
you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, speakers, for an amazing discussion. Special thank you to our title partner, Accenture, track partner, Automation Anywhere, cloud communication partner, Root Mobile, and bronze partner, Tata Teleservices, knowledge partner, PwC. Stay tuned for more such exciting conversations. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.